how complicated is this about to get for the average moviegoer? Hey geeks, welcome to my channel. I'm Trey Guillotine, and you're watching Daily Marvels, where I give a few thoughts on some of the Marvel news that went on in the past week. The MCU may be traveling to the multiverse. A Jedi Master could be joining the Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 cast. Groot is dead. And we're going to be getting some more Fox movies. If you like this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and share it around so others can join in the conversation. In a recent interview, Benedict Cumberbatch was talking about the state of the Marvel Universe, and he says this universe has gotten quite crowded and it's just about to explode into other dimensions. Obviously, since he plays Doctor Strange, he's probably talking about the actual other dimensions that he's going to go into in future Doctor Strange films, like the mirror dimension, like the dark dimension, like the light dimension. I don't know what all the names of the dimensions are. There's a lot of dimensions, obviously, especially just in Doctor Strange 1, where he just passed through so many different dimensions, and obviously we're probably going to be seeing even more in Doctor Strange sequels. But it's curious if what he's talking about when he says exploding into other dimensions, if he possibly means the multiverse, and with the universe getting so crowded, if that explosion will be going into other actual timelines and universes where we're going to meet other heroes. It's very possible that that kind of multiverse travel could be something that is coming up. It's something that was even teased, or not so much teased, but mentioned in the most recent season of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. They talk about the multiverse theory. I don't know yet if that was something in regards to that season, or if it's just something that they were explaining and talking about the possibility of, with the situation of them traveling through time, and it was really complicated. But they do mention the multiverse theory, so it's something that is definitely possible, especially when you're talking about something like Doctor Strange. But Doctor Strange isn't the only one that travels between dimensions. With the Disney and Fox deal kind of coming to fruition, it's very possible that the introduction of the Fantastic Four could lead to other dimensions, other timelines, other heroes, as that's something that the Fantastic Four, Reed Richards, Sue Storm, and Johnny Storm, and Ben Grimm and even Doctor Doom will be kind of investigating. Originally, from what I understand, that's how they get their powers. No, that's not how they get their powers. That's how they got their powers in the new Fantastic Four movie. I'm not 100% sure how they get their powers, or what the circumstances is that they get their powers in the comics, if it's another dimension, or if it's like in the original movies where it was like a sunburst or something in space. But kind of traveling and investigating the possibilities of those different dimensions is something that could definitely be brought up with the Fantastic Four. They could even open up another dimension that leads to a world where there's not so many superheroes or mutants, but where there's not so many superheroes or Inhumans, but there are mutants, and that would actually be it'd be kind of odd, but it'd be a solid way to introduce the idea of mutants being part of a Earth society in just this other dimension where they've flourished, and bringing mutants into the MCU where the MCU would then become in the Marvel Cinematic Universe would then become the Marvel Cinematic Multi-Universe, which, how complicated is this about to get for the average moviegoer? So in a recent Twitter exchange between Mark Hamill and James Gunn, they talked about the possibility of casting Mark Hamill into Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. This all started when just a fan tweeted James Gunn saying, hey, you should put Mark Hamill in Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. Mark Hamill saw the tweet and jumped onto the thread. And I was like, yeah, you should definitely, talk to me about casting, because I'm now an out of work actor, as he's not doing Star Wars anymore. James Gunn got into the thread, and they talked about it. I was like, yeah, that's a great idea. And they're talking about DMing each other and trying to figure out how DMs work. And it was just kind of funny seeing, as much as I love Mark Hamill, seeing an old man trying to figure out Twitter, but who am I kidding? I still don't really understand how Twitter works. But the possibility is there. The potential and possibility is there that Mark Hamill could be joining the cast as joining the cast of Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. After seeing his performance of Luke in The Last Jedi, for me, that was the best performance of Luke I've ever seen. It was the first time in over 30 years that I have actually given a crap about Luke Skywalker, and it was because of his performance, whether he liked the character or not. It was because of his performance in The Last Jedi. So I think Mark Hamill could actually be a kind of fun character in Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, but he wouldn't actually even have to be a live character since he has such a huge career as a voice actor, as the Joker, as Firelord Ozai in The Last Airbender, as just so many other different animated characters in video games and anime and cartoons that Mark Hamill has done. He could easily be a CGI character and give the voice to some kind of CGI character in Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. I think this would be great. I think it would. It wouldn't be the first time that a Star Wars actor has crossed over into the Marvel Cinematic Universe, especially Lupita Nyong'o, who does the voice of Maz Kanata. I'm guessing she's going to be doing the voice of Maz Kanata in Solo, but also in The Last Jedi and The Force Awakens, Lupita Nyong'o, who was in Black Panther. They're both under the Disney umbrella, so it's not exactly a huge stretch that they could have actors from one franchise into another. I would actually be pretty excited to see Mark Hamill doing another live-action character that we could kind of get behind in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Speaking of Guardians of the Galaxy and Twitter, a heated discussion erupted on Twitter asking users who they would save first, a Porg or Groot, because they're both, or Baby Groot, because they're both so damn cute. And it became like a big deal. It became a very heated discussion. And the discussion kind of boiled down to, you would save a Porg because Groot was more or less invincible. Like, you would destroy Groot, but he would come back as Baby Groot. Well, once again, the Twitter fanatic that he is, James Gunn, jumped on this conversation, and that's kind of when this whole thing blew up. And he actually admitted that, and he said that obviously you would save Groot because he is a higher functioning life form. He's a higher functioning life form. He's not just an animal who has, the basic functions and needs of an animal, but a higher functioning life form. Groot is basically a person, not an animal. And he dropped the probably unwanted knowledge that Groot is actually not invincible or immortal, that in Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 1, Groot actually did die. And that the Groot we're seeing now is actually his son. That he didn't give the exact anatomical descriptions of how Groot would reproduce, but the Groot that we have now does not have Groot's memories, does not have original Groot's memories, that it is Groot's son, it is not Groot. Which kind of puts a definitely darker spin on Groot's kind of sacrifice at the end of Guardians of the Galaxy, and also kind of puts a lot more meaning behind it. Like, he wasn't just sacrificing himself for 10 minutes until he could grow back. He was sacrificing himself. He died so that the Guardians could survive the ship crash, and then his son is who is now taking his place. So it definitely puts a lot more meaning behind his sacrifice in Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 1. Despite the deal where Disney is buying a number of entertainment titles from Fox, including all of their Marvel heroes like X-Men, like Fantastic Four, and everyone involved in both of those franchises, it looks like Fox is going forward with a number of their Marvel hero titles. So they're going forward with a Doom movie that is being helmed by the Legion showrunner. They're apparently going forward with a Silver Surfer movie, as well as just a number of as yet unannounced or undiscovered movies that they're going to be going forward with, that are the Marvel properties that are going to be sold off to Disney at whatever the time is that they will lose them. According to a Fox executive, they are quote-unquote going 100 miles an hour with Marvel movies. So basically what this means is that while they're selling off these rights back to Disney, back to Marvel Studios, that they're going to be spewing out as many Marvel titles as they can. So as many X-Men titles, as many Deadpool titles, as many Marvel titles as they possibly can before the official deadline that it is that the rights go over to Disney. And personally, I think this is bullshit. This sounds like a very petty move on Fox's part, that they've sold off the rights and now they're basically just trying to make a quick buck before they lose the rights. Already, Fox's movies are maybe 50-50 good and bad, and that I feel that's being very generous. 50-50 between good movies and bad movies, and that's when the movies are prepared, when there's a year or two in production behind them of writing, of casting, of getting these movies right. That's when there's like time behind them. They're 50-50. If they're going to be going quote-unquote 100 miles an hour trying to get these movies out before they lose the rights, before they sold the rights, this wasn't something that Disney like muscled their way in. Fox needed the money. Fox made the decision to sell them. Fox sold the rights, and now Fox is trying to get a quick buck by spewing out as many Marvel movies as they can. This is very petty on Fox's part, in my opinion. Maybe I'm blowing this out of proportion, I don't know, but this sounds like a very petty move for them to get a quick buck and to get out as many Marvel heroes as they can, and that's kind of a slap in the face to, I feel it's kind of a slap in the face to Disney. They're basically, and I hate using this expression, they're trying to have their cake and eat it too, which is such a dumb expression. Why wouldn't you eat your cake if you have it? But it's a very crappy move. It is a very crappy move. They're trying to put out bad movies of Silver Surfer, of Doom, of more bad X-Men movies, so that Disney basically has to pick up the pieces, because there aren't as many fans who are sitting here and know the difference between a Fox Marvel movie and a Marvel Studios movie, and they're just going to say, oh, they're rebooting again, they just did this movie. Well, no, Fox just did this movie, not Marvel Studios. It complicates things a lot. It's a huge petty move on Fox's part, and it further gives evidence of my opinion of Fox being the devil. What do you think of these daily Marvels? Let me know in the comments and follow me on all the internets. If you like this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up and share it around so others can join in the conversation. If you want to check out my written reviews of Marvel TV shows and movies, check out www.treyguillotine.com and subscribe to my channel to geek out some more. Thanks for watching and have fun.